Yo, let's talk about something a little bit more real, chat. Let's talk about something a little bit more real, okay? I don't know if you guys have heard about this new sort of security system called Flock, but there are apparently these like high-tech cameras where they track every single vehicle and I believe people as well. But I want you guys to watch this video because it's kind of fucking insane. Like, we're literally about to live in Big Brother. Or I don't know if you guys ever seen or heard about social credit, but they have that in China where if you jaywalk or if you do something, because they have so many cameras, they can detect who's who. That will affect your credit score, and it could also potentially affect maybe you getting into certain restaurants, or you being able to buy a house, or you being able to get this car or that car. It's kind of bullshit. Like, what the fuck is all that? Like, what is that about, chat? So, but anyways, let me show you guys this video because he kind of talks about it and he explains it really well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Noel Pichardo. I'm a ex-cop here in the state of Rhode Island. I'm regrettably an ex-police officer. It's part of the reason why I'm doing one of the strangest things I've ever done, which
I'm gonna get a water real quick,
talking
but
in
just
front of
watch,
the
chat.
camera, in order to inform you all about a concerning trend that's been steadily rising in my state and other states across the country. So in 2021, 2022, my city, the city of Pawtucket, the police department I was a part of, along with other departments in my state, started quietly signing contracts with this new technology called Flock Camera. It's a surveillance system company run by a man named Garrett Langley. He's the CEO and founder of that company. Basically, it's a very sophisticated AI software that uses a camera system to track and monitor every vehicle that goes by the camera lens. It doesn't require a violation. It doesn't require any infraction. It only requires movement. That's it. And it records the make, the model, color, bumper stickers, you name it, of the vehicle.
Now, in hindsight, this sounds, or not hindsight, maybe I'm using that word wrong, but, at first glance, this sounds amazing, right, chat? What the fuck? We got cameras that can instantly track if your car gets stolen or if somebody were to get kidnapped or this and that. But guess what? Kids are still missing to this day and we can't even find them. What the fuck? So you're telling me we got this type of technology, yet people are still going missing every single day, or cars are being stolen, but they cannot be recovered. Yet this is for our security, right? Okay.
That goes by every single one of these camera lenses. They're quite discreet. If you don't know what they are, you won't be able to spot them out. They're basically put on utility poles at the main intersections in your city, if you have them. So to put it bluntly, if you own a car, you're now being tracked. If I could put it plainly, for committing the sin of going to work. This information is shared city to city and even state to state without a warrant. There's no legislation governing this technology.
So basically what he just said is, let's just say you have maybe an enemy in the police station, right? They could theoretically, right, go into the system, put in your license plate, and they could see everywhere you go. They could track you from the moment that you go to work, to your house, to the bar, to wherever the fuck, right? And they don't need any sort of, how do I say, I'm forgetting the word at the moment, but they don't need shit. They don't need shit, chat. They don't need shit. They could just do whatever it is that they want. And I know people are going to be like, oh, but they're police officers. Yeah, but let's not act like every single police officer has always been good and served the people. There's plenty of bad cops. Now, I'm not saying they're all bad cops, right? Because there's plenty of good ones as well. But I don't know. That's kind of fucking scary that they could do that shit, Now, imagine some of these cops, right? Like, imagine a cop is like, I don't know, let me track my girlfriend. Let me track my wife. And then boom, he finds her cheating on him or some shit like that. Yo, you don't know, he might be fucking batshit crazy and then go fucking kill the guy. Right? Like, hey, don't get me wrong, you shouldn't be going out here cheating on shit, but like, to death? To die? That's fucking crazy.
Well, specifically referring to my state, which doesn't have any legislation governing this technology, even though it's been in use for about 4 years now. And if you're still watching this video, I'm assuming your temper is starting to flare up because it's probably the first time you're hearing about this, which I think is the worst thing about this.
Wait, what the fuck? Have I been flock.com chat?
My opinion is that you, the American citizen, was never notified about this innovation, nor its implementation. Your consent was never required, nor even asked for, or even thought about when your city government was putting up this new technology. For example, the chief of the Pawtucket Police Department, she was confronted by a local reporter on this very question of what gave them the right to put up these cameras without consulting the public. Her response was, so the criminals wouldn't know about it and avoid its detection. So there you go. That's their best argument about why they felt you, the public, had no right to know about this new innovation being put up in your city. So why am I in the situation that I'm in right now? Why am I talking to you? So when this innovation was first introduced in my city and many other cities in the state, I brought up a lot of the reasonable objections I'm sure a lot of you who already came up with within the first few seconds of this video, which is concerns about privacy, concerns about abuse, and concerns about transparency. Because I brought up all these concerns to that same local reporter that interviewed the chief of the Pawtucket
Krugger said it don't matter. I tell my bitch I cheat on her. Yo, what the fuck?
Police Department, and because I brought these concerns to the Government Oversight Committee at my state house. What I got for that was suspensions without pay. I lost my promotion to detectives. I had my character sullied, and all that eventually led to my resignation, which was forced on me. It wasn't my choice, but I had no choice at this point.
Damn, that's crazy, bro. Like, you not wanting to sign an NDA because of these flock cameras, basically ultimately making you silent to the whole situation and not being able to tell anybody anything, or else your life is fucking ruined, or you lose your job, aka your life is probably still fucking ruined, is insane, bro. Like, there's got to be some sort of law where, or if not, that there should be some sort of law where it's got to be put in place to protect people like this. It says citizens are already vandalizing the cameras and it's up to the city to replace them, which most don't because of the cost.
After I resigned, I was asked to sign an NDA by my department, which I didn't even know was allowed in my profession, but maybe that's just a sign of my ignorance. But I refused to sign that NDA, and as a result, I've become unhireable in my profession. I can no longer be a police officer in my state because, you know, I guess you could say plainly I'm a bit of a rat, if you want to put it that way.
I'm a bit of a rat. That's kind of ironic when it comes to like police officers, right? Because the whole point is for you to tell them shit. But let me see. All locations of flock camera. As top states by count, California, Texas, Florida lead the country with tens of thousands of installed units combined. Widespread presence, active deployment span nearly every state utilized by local police departments, private businesses, and neighborhood groups. Tracking tools you can view, localized. Yo, you know what's crazy about this whole shit, chat? Is that, you know, not only is like Flock the one, you know, obviously benefiting out of all of this because the information they're storing it, but like that itself is what makes Flock the company so valuable. All the data. Like the data really comes, that's really what comes down to when you're trying to sell a company. You know, that's like the gold mine for what people want to pay for. If anybody, like if any rich motherfucker ever wants some information on certain individuals or whatever, they usually buy a company for the data. Or if they want, you know, to come out with a product or whatever, right? Like Facebook, right? Facebook sold everybody's data, and, you know, obviously people got pissed about that shit too, but this is just going even a little bit like deeper to it. Like everyone is just selling different type of data that they're gathering from you using their apps, or I guess being surveillance.
But I made peace with that. You know,
He said, have you seen this Texas State Police spending $4.5 million on our 4 Chevy Tahoe? What? Shit, sign me up to be an officer. I want one of them Tahoes.
I made peace with that. I can't do this anymore. I'm not naive. I know how the world works. I know that when you talk about issues that one.
Sorry, random pause, right? But it says, somebody commented saying, dear viewer, please do not, and I repeat, do not point green lasers at the flock camera, as it can be very damaging to the camera and cost the company a lot of money. Also, it costs the state a lot of money as well, because they're the ones that are going to be replacing it. I wouldn't really say the company, because the company, once it's sold, right? Like, they're getting their money's worth.
Want to still be kept hidden that the price you will pay for that is you lose your job. It is what it is. Other things
You said look it up. It's equipped with this technology that can scan everyone's phone date. Wait, what? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look that shit up after this.
have happened,
Let's
but
finish watching
I
this though.
promised I wasn't going to use this as an opportunity to rant, and so I'm not going to do that. And I don't share this to do the whole woe is me bit. I simply share it to prove that some nobody patrolman from Rhode Island had his livelihood taken
Oh
away
shit,
from
he's
him
from
for
Rhode
simply
Island.
saying, hold on a second, for a technology that we apparently have nothing to worry about. And if you are worrying about it, it's because you have something to hide. The philosophy that this innovation is already grounded on is already proven to be rotten. It's grounded on this idea that you, the citizen, are first and foremost a potential suspect or potential defendant that needs to be tracked and monitored for your safety and for the safety of others. It's the same philosophy that the Soviets and many authoritarian states during the
China.
20th century adopted, and we all know how that worked out for them. It's the same philosophy that the Chinese are currently adopting right now, and they have a similar surveillance system that they're using on their own citizens right now, which is even more egregious. And
Yeah, bro. I ain't gonna lie, chat. Like, if y'all ever get the time to go and search up, like, um, what's it called? Social, something along the lines with like social credit or something like that they have in China, where they have like a bunch of cameras and shit like that. They detect everybody, bro. Like, that shit is insane to me. I'm not gonna lie. And it's crazy where it kind of feels inevitable that we will eventually get to that point.
look, I get it.
You said, isn't there also a group of people working against this, going around destroying the cameras? Yeah, apparently there is a group like that.
I want to use the tools that we have in order to capture the guy who steals your mother's car, the guy who's stalking your neighbor's daughter, or one of the guys that shoots and kills one of our young men in our city. I get it. But this isn't the answer. This technology is new, but the philosophy that it's grounded on is nothing new. It's actually quite old. And we've seen it echoed in the worst way throughout the 20th century in Europe, and I don't want it to repeat those same mistakes in our own country. So what do I want? I mean, who cares what I want, I suppose. If you're still watching this video, what do you want? I assume it's the same thing I want, which is to have these cameras taken down or have an intelligent conversation about them at the very least, which wasn't afforded to us before. We were just assumed to submit and go along with whatever our local governments decided. But what do I want right now? What I want right now is very simple. I just want you, the public, to know that these cameras exist and that they were put up without your consent, and I'm gonna trust you guys to do the rest with that information. I don't know how many people are gonna watch this video. It could be 50, it could be 500, 5,000. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. I don't have social media. But I have
That's
to try.
crazy to say that I don't have social media and then get a fucking video that gets 11.1 million views is actually insane. Wait, is this his actual TikTok?
To organize with reasonable, level-headed people who want the same things that you do, I suggest that you check out the website below. It's called deflock.org. You know, they'll track just like you. And I want to add just one last thing. These requests may shock you, but first off, don't be mad at your local cops. You know, they're guys who make 65 grand a year. A lot of cops in their unions, specifically the one that I was a part of, are fighting to keep their own health insurance. So I can guarantee you they're not the people responsible for this or even really care, to be honest with you. And this next request may shock you. Forgive your police leaders and your city council members, the ones who did put these cameras up. You know, I think us trying to focus on who to blame and whose job we're going to try to take away or what have you, I don't think that's going to be useful. So I say we just forgive them and we just focus on what's really important right here, which is getting these silly cameras down and so we can move on with our lives. So if you made it this far,
I mean, yeah, but like, you have to hold somebody accountable for that though. Or like, what's the message? Just destroy them all? I guess. I don't know. That is fucking insane though, chat. I'm not gonna lie, like, whew. Imagine, like, and it's not even about like, oh, I'm not worried because I never did anything or whatever, but like, bro, do you really want to get tracked every single fucking moment of your life? Because maybe one day you might fuck up. And guess what? All that data is gonna be stored and it's gonna be used against you. And we're human at the end of the day. So, we're gonna make mistakes and we're not perfect. So Yeah, I don't know. I just think that shit is. Nah, he's not. He's not from. He's not from New York City. He's from Rhode Island, bro. Uh, to be honest, I feel like he got like a Boston accent. You said your phone is already doing that though. Yeah, you're low key not wrong. It is kind of doing that in a way, I guess. It definitely listens to you for sure, 100%.